Hello and welcome to Just Vintage Crochet. So I am currently working on a tutorial, but it has taken me about 2 days longer than I thought it would. So I figured to get something out for you, we could do another mystery video because I still have a few days left to finish up this tutorial. So I wanted to get something out for you guys, and I was kind of bored with working on it. You know how that goes. You work on something for so long and you're like, oh, I'm kind of craving something else. So I'm craving something else, and since I don't want to pick another pattern, I want to let fate pick one for me. So if you're new to the channel, what I have here is a bunch of vintage and antique patterns that range from the 1840s to the 1970s. I think we still have one from, 1977. They are all numbered, and the numbers are in the bowl. We have no context, no title. Anything within the pattern that could give it away has been blacked out, and if there are photos, my son has them in his room as he's the one who curates these patterns for us, blacks them out and cuts them up. So let's pick our pattern. Okay, here we go. I won't do that again. Number 2. Almost thought... I almost thought it was going to be right on top. Okay, let's see. Where is numero dos? Right here. Here we go. Number 2. We need knitting silk number 300. Make a chain of 10 stitches. Let's see, how far does this pattern go? It's pretty chopped up. Row 2. Hood. Whoa, 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 whoa. Uh-oh, look, he's not perfect. None of us are. So he may have missed this. He sort of scans over these. Now, he's not a crocheter, but he's certainly been around patterns long enough. So whatever this is, the crown of the hood, are we making a hood? Are we making a hood? What year is this? 1885. It's not an auto hood, but have you guys ever seen those patterns? For like riding hoods, like carriage hoods. Maybe this is like a riding hood. Okay. All right. I just want to get started on it now. Okay. Here we go. Let me put my stuff up real quick. I'll be right back. Okay, so what I have here, I have a decision to make. I don't know what knitting silk number 300 is, and the internet was zero help. It just gave me the history of knitting silk and the benefits of knitting silk. It didn't give me, some brands come up like Florence. Those look rather thick, so I don't know that those are right. So what I have here, I don't want to go super micro, although that might be what's needed. And I do have a size 80 thread, which is the tiniest thread I own. I don't think I have any 100. This is size 20 and this is size 30. In threads, the bigger the number, the smaller the thread. So this one is smaller than this one. I thought we could go over the pattern just a little bit and get a better idea of what we're working with here and how small does this need to be. Okay. Make 10 stitches, join the ends over the chain, single crochet 25 times. Now, that is not a modern US single crochet. I will put in the corner of the screen right here. These are all Victorian UK terms. That is a slip stitch. Okay, slip stitch in every stitch of first row. Increase every second stitch. Continue in this way until you have 8 rows. Then 2 plain rows. That's going to be single crochet. 2 plain rows without increase. No, it's not. No, it's not. They mean 2 more rows of... Man, I hope that's slip stitch. I'm going to have to... I think Justin may have provided me with stitch terms from a couple of these books. To form the shells, first row, double crochet 6 times. Now that... If this is a Victorian, I mean, it is Victorian, but if these are UK terms, that's single crochet. Okay, 1 plain row. This finishes the crown of the hood. We know we're making a hood now. Neck of the hood. He must have just missed all of this. On these 3 plain rows. Okay, this seems small. And I'm wondering if we are making a baby bonnet. or a baby hood. This seems like it's going to be small. I will be right back. I'm going to go and get the stitch terms for this. I won't get them. I will have Justin get them because I don't want to see the book. We also did something different this year to make this easier. The books that he got everything out of is going to be in its own separate folder, so we don't have to go through every bit of my computer to try to track it down. Last year was kind of chaos. I'll be right back. I need to know what the stitch terms are. Okay, so he printed this out for me. Since there are so many patterns in our mystery patterns from this book, which is called Fancy Work Recreations, I'm going to keep this stitch chart, this stitch explanation page handy. So it says here, the stitches used in crochet are, and if you want to read everything that precedes that, here you go. Okay. The chain stitch is the foundation. We know what the chain stitch is. A single loop is made around the hook or needle, and the thread is drawn through this loop. Another loop is drawn through, and so on until the required number is made. Do chain stitch loosely. Long stitch. This is made by turning the cotton twice round the needle. And that's all it says. I think, though, we can assume a long stitch is a U.S. treble crochet. P or picot, made by working 3 chains, and 1 single crochet, which before even getting there, I already know that's a slip stitch. 1 single crochet in first stitch of the chain. Slip stitch. A chain being made, the hook is inserted in the last stitch, but 1 to the needle, and the thread is then drawn through 2 stitches. Repeat from start till end of row. Okay, maybe a single crochet is a single crochet. Single crochet is to insert the needle in a loop of the preceding row, then draw the thread through both the loop and stitch at once. Insert the needle in a loop of the preceding row. Then draw the thread through both loop. That's a slip stitch, right? So then what is this? Slip stitch, a chain being made, the hook. And it has we'll have to test that. A double crochet. Now this should be a single crochet. A double crochet is to draw the thread through a loop to the lower row, then draw it through the other 2 stitches. That's a single crochet. Treble crochet, which translates to a U.S. double crochet, is to put the cotton over the needle and insert the latter into a loop. Draw the cotton first through the loop, then through 2 stitches, then again through the last 2 stitches. That's a double crochet, U.S. double crochet. And then we get into raised stitches and tricot, which is Tunisian. So let's look at this slip stitch. A chain being made, the hook. Why do they word things like this? These were intelligent people. A chain being made, the hook is inserted in the last stitch, but 1 to the needle. I don't understand this wording at all. And the thread is then drawn through the 2 stitches. That sounds like a slip stitch. But this also sounds like a slip stitch. To insert the needle in a loop of the preceding row, then draw the thread through both the loop and stitch at once. That is also a slip stitch. So can we then say that they have 2 slip stitches described here? I just don't understand. I don't even understand the wording of this one. Just a moment. Just take a moment here and try to put into practice what they are describing. Let's start with the slip stitch down here. A chain being made. The hook is inserted in the last stitch. Well, I can't insert it into the last stitch, so I will insert it into the second chain from the hook, okay? The hook is inserted in the last stitch, but one to the needle. And the thread is then drawn through the 2 stitches, but one. Does that mean leave one on the needle? I don't understand what but one to the needle means. Okay, and then it is then drawn through both. That is a slip stitch, right? That is a slip stitch. Yes, that is a slip stitch. Okay, let's look at the single crochet. Single crochet is to insert the needle into a loop. Okay, inserted of the preceding row. Then draw the thread through both loop and stitch at once. Okay, done. So they're both slip stitches. Like, I think we can see that. Let's put the UK double crochet to the test, which is a US single crochet. Okay, double crochet is to draw the thread through the loop. You will note they aren't saying to cotton over or yarn over first. Draw the thread through a loop in the lower row, then draw it through the other 2 stitches. It doesn't say to pull up a loop and then pull through, but I think that's what they mean. Okay, to draw the thread through a loop. Yes, they did say that. So draw the thread through the loop of the lower row, then draw it through both of the, so that is a US single crochet, and the rest is correct. So it's the slip stitch. They've got two different versions of the same stitch. I didn't mean to go on and on about that, but if we're going to make something, we need to make it right, and we need to know what kind of stitches they're asking us to make, right? Or else we can't get it right. Okay, so I am going to opt for the size 20 and a number 9 vintage steel crochet hook. Okay. So here we go. Really scared that, not really scared, that was a bit dramatic. I'm worried that this might actually be too small. I don't know what knitting silk number 300 is. Make a chain of 10 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Join the ends. Okay. Joined. Over the chain, single crochet 25 times. So we're going to work 25 slip stitches. I kind of want to work a regular single crochet, if I'm honest. I really don't want to work 25 slip stitches in this chain. Second row, single crochet every stitch of the first row. Third row, increase in every second stitch. I mean single crochet or slip stitches. Okay, following the pattern. All right, I'm going to chain 1. I don't know if I was supposed to or not, but I'm going to start working some slip stitches. Oh, this is going to be really tricky to figure out what my first stitch is. Oh man, I could barely see it. All right. So that's 2. This really doesn't seem right, doesn't it? It seems like this should be... Oh, I worked a single crochet there, didn't I? I feel like I worked one there too. This really doesn't seem right. It does seem like it should be US single crochets, but you know what? This is the same book that our community mystery pattern came out of. And you recall, using US stitch terms actually helped. So if I may, I wonder if these patterns, some of these patterns were submitted by US pattern writers, but the people who put the book together just used one overall set of stitch terms for everything. We already know that they did not test these patterns a lot of times first. So what do you guys think if we used US stitch terms this time? I think this might be another situation like with the community pattern. I believe all of you who said this worked out better with US stitch terms. I believe you. I saw it for myself. I think I want to try to make this in US stitch terms. I think this might be another one of those, this pattern was submitted, but the people threw the book together using the same terms. So I'm going to work 25 single crochet. It just makes sense. I'm not familiar with basically any of the patterns in this book other than the ones that we have worked. And it does seem like, I think we worked one purse out of this book, and that worked out pretty good. They were calling for double crochet. I worked it in US single crochet, and the pattern worked out great. But our community pattern did not work out great for most people who genuinely tried to follow the stitch terms that came out of this book. And this pattern seems like it's another one of those. It seems like whenever the person who wrote this pattern wrote single crochet, they meant US single crochet. And the book doesn't differentiate that. So we're going to go with US single crochet. It just makes sense because typically if you're going to work a shepherd stitch, which is the single crochet, slip stitch, forgive me, it's the slip stitch. They predominantly only did that for finishing ups, so cuffs and borders. So it just makes sense. Okay, I haven't counted a single one of these stitches. I've just been yammering on. I'll be right back. Okay, that is my 25 single crochet. Can you imagine if that was 25 slip stitches? I really didn't want to do that. It just didn't seem right. Second row, single crochet in every stitch. So I think we're going to work in a continuous round. And I don't know if it was a given. It probably was. So I'm going to work in the back loop only, working in the round, in a continuous round, sorry. 1, 2. I'm going to mark that first stitch. Oh no. Almost lost my hook down the crack of the couch. That would have been annoying. Okay. Three, 4, and 5. I will be right back. I'm going to work these 25 single crochet off camera. Okay, 25 single crochet worked around again. Row 3, increase in every second stitch. Continue in this way until you have 8 rows, then 2 plain rows without increasing. Now it says continue in this way, but is that to say that they assume, bear in mind they always assume, that we already know that the next row it's 1 single crochet, the next stitch gets an increase, then 1. Then the row after that, it's 1 single crochet in each of the next 2 stitches, and then it's an increase in the third, and on and on. And then the next one, it's 3 single crochet in a row, and then an increase in the fourth. So are they assuming that we already know that we need to do that? Or do they genuinely, if they genuinely want us to do it this way, we're going to wind up making a tube, I think. No, it still somewhat increases. It's just not going to keep it very flat. I'm going to go with they assume we already know how this is meant to progress because we already know these patterns. They assume we already know. So that's what we're going to do. So this next round, we're going to work 1 single crochet into the first stitch, and then an increase of 2 single crochet into the next stitch over. So that's 1, 2, 3. Here is my start. And now we work 1 single crochet into the next, and then the next stitch gets the increase, 2 single crochet. The next stitch gets 1. The next stitch after that gets 2 into the same stitch for the increase. Okay, I'll be right back. I'm going to work this all around. At the end of this row now, what I found, and you likely will find too, is that we're going to end with a single crochet, even though we started with just 1 single crochet. And I think that's because we started with 25 stitches instead of 24. So I worked my last increase right here. And so here is my last single crochet. So we're going to have 2 single crochets right next to each other at the beginning and the end. So basically it's saying continue in this way until you have 8 rows. So we are on, let me get this, 1, 2, 3. We're going to start row 4. So row 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 are all going to be worked like this. Now we work 1 single crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. And let me put my stitch marker back. Just count 2 stitches back. Pop it right in there. And then we work our increase in the 3rd stitch over. There we go. And then we work 1 single crochet in each of the next 2. Oh, I'm working through the full stitch, aren't I? Dadgummit. Why didn't you tell me? Maybe you did, and that's what I heard. I heard you screaming at your phones. Hey, hey, hey. Work that back loop, sis. Okay, put my stitch marker back. All right. And then in row 5, we're going to work 1 single crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. And then we work the increase. So now that's 1, the next stitch over, 1, the next stitch over gets the increase. And then row 6, there will be 4 single crochet between the increases. Row 7, there will be 5 single crochet between the increases. And row 8, there will be 6 single crochet between the increases. So carry on like that. I will be right back. I'm going to work all the way up to row 8. Okay, so I have completed all the way up to 8 rows total from our very first row down here with the 25 single crochet. So I have 8 rows. I ended with 6 single crochet between the increases. Now it says to work 2 rows plain, 2 plain rows without increasing. So that's what I'm gonna do. There we go. 1 and 2. I put my stitch marker back. Okay, so I'm going to work 1 single crochet into each stitch all around with no increasing for 2 rows. That should take us up to round 10. So now I'm on round 9. Okay, I will be back when I'm at round 10. Okay, 2 rows of just plain single crochet with no increasing or decreasing done. I'm at row 10, round 10. Okay, it says here to form the shells, first row, double crochet, and I'm going to use US terms. Double crochet 6 times in every 5th stitch. So if you're in the UK, we're working trebles now. So I'll read that again for UK pattern readers. Treble crochet 6 times in every 5th stitch. Okay, so here we go. I guess now we can join. There we go. And I'm going to work through both loops on this round. So actually, let's do our, no, I'll keep it. I'll keep it original. I was going to do stacked singles. Okay, 1, 2, 3 for our first. Now 4 more double crochet or UK treble crochet into the very first stitch that we just joined into. Again, I'm working under both loops now. 1, 2. If we were to do this under just one loop, it would have stretched that loop out to craziness. 3 and 4. I am kind of wondering if I'm making this too small, that I should have used a thicker thread, but maybe we were meant to use a number 10, but I just couldn't find a single reference to knitting silk number 300. Okay. 6 double crochet 6 times in every 5th stitch. It's not telling us to chain or anything, so I'm going to skip 5. 1, bear in mind, your first stitch is going to be mashed up against this shell right here. That's our very first stitch right there. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. Oh, wait. I have to work 1 more double crochet over here. I only have 5 of them, I think. Yeah. Well, so I made a mistake then when I said we have to crochet 4 more. We needed to crochet 5 more double crochet. Pardon me. There we go. Now I have 6. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll work 6 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Skip 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. In every 5th stitch. 1, so skip 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the 5th stitch. Okay, so I'm going to work this all around, and I will meet back up with you when we are ready to finish this round and join. Okay, we are on round 11 now. So I will be right back. There we go. I'll be right back. So I have this, I can't seem to flee this nagging feeling that this is going to be ridiculously too small. They said that this is the crown of the hood. You know, I've made I think maybe it's a baby hood. Or is it like a woman's hood? Is it a lady's hood? And if it is a lady's hood, it's still too small. I think I'm using the wrong material and hook. I'm very tempted to start this over again with something a little bit bigger. What do you guys think? Yes? I mean, if this is going to be a baby's hood, let's make it a baby's hood or a woman's hood. Whatever, we know it's a hood. Either way, we know it's a hood. I went back on the internet to try to find that knitting wool, or what is it called? Knitting silk number 300. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Again, crochet 1 row of stitches on plain. The lace around the hood finishes the lace and gives it excellent shape. The lace is crocheted all around the hood. Any pretty crocheted lace. So plain. Like, I was reading this. 2 more plain rows, leaving 25 stitches open to form the neck for the hood. So it's clearly a human's hood. On these 3 plain rows, on these 3 plain rows, crochet 2 rows of shell as before, then 3. So it's not going to get much bigger as it goes forward. And I'm just thinking back to the baby hood we made. And yeah, I almost know I'm using the wrong material here. So I think I'm going to start over again. I'm not that far in. I'm only 11 rows in, and these are really fast and easy to make. So I will be right back. When I come back, I will have row 11 completed, this first shell row completely completed. Okay, that is what I want to do because I want it to look right. And it's not going to look right if I keep going this way. If this is supposed to be the crown of a hood, then this right here is the part that's supposed to come around the side of your head. You start to come around the side of your head, ideally. So that's, I mean, maybe for a doll, this would work for a doll. Okay, I am going to start over again. I don't know what material I'm going to pick. I'm going to test the waters with a few different ones, and then I will let you know whenever I come back and I have finished round 11. I just didn't give up on looking, and look what I found. Florence netting silk. The number 300 on the coarser side and the number 500 on the finer side. And right here is an engraving of what it looks like. This is number 300 silk. What do we think? That kind of looks like a number 10 crochet cotton. It kind of looks like a number 10. Yes? And then here is some samples. This is from 1883, by the way. Here they're telling you how to buy them. And then they're showing their finer silks. So they have number 1000. And so these are the much finer ones here, like see, like number 1000. So these are for embroidery. So I was just scrolling and looking around, and then I seen this book that said that it was in the Library of Congress. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute. This talks all about this netting silk, and specifically, and you can see right there, 1883, Boston, entered according to the Act of Congress in the year 1883 by this company in the office of the Librarian of Congress at Washington. So thank you, Washington, because this helped me figure it out. I think what we might be looking for is a number 10. What I'm using here is just a little bit thicker than a number 10. I do have a number 10 right here. I mean, there is a size difference, so I don't know. I couldn't quite tell. It's a drawing. I don't know. What do you guys think? At this point, should I just keep going with what I have? I already started. I'm using a number 3 boy hook, which is a 2.10 millimeter hook. And I'm using this, what is basically the equivalent of, it's a number 1 fingering. This is basically the equivalent of a number 5 thread. Yes, a number 5. So it's bigger, it's thicker. It's a bit thicker, not a whole heck of a lot, but a bit thicker than the number 10. I think I'm gonna stick with what I've got. But at least I think the mystery is solved. So that is a knitting book. If y'all are interested, it is called, I'll take a screenshot and show the screenshot. How to use Florence knitting silk, number 5. And so I'll show the screenshot. It is in the Library of Congress. I don't know if that's accessible around the world. I can't imagine it wouldn't be. But I don't know these things. I'm ignorant to these things. So don't quote me on that. Okay. So I'm going to keep going. I am on round 1. I wasn't keeping track. 2, 3. I'm on round 3. So this is what I will be using now. I will be right back. At least now I know the number 20 was going to be way off. So I was right in my assumptions there. Okay, here I go. I will be back when I have reached round 11 again. I just couldn't wait to show you that. Okay, I hope you guys don't get annoyed with me. I think I'm gonna have to start over again. Do you see right there, it says to use number 19 needles for 500 silk and number 16 needles for 300 silk when knitting these trimmings. That gives me a little bit more to go on, as I do have an 18, it's a 1946 bell gauge, but this was made for working vintage works in 1946. So it was made to be an exact replica of the 1846 bell gauge. And right here is a number 16 needle. The reason I picked this up is because in the Victorian era, they would make the Tunisian hooks the same size as the knitting hooks. So I wanted this for Tunisian hooks, for working the Victorian Tunisian patterns. So here's a number 16. Here's the hook I've been using. And it's oh, I just stabbed my couch. It's but you know what, let me mount this phone. Okay, that's better. This is the hook I've been using. It's way too big, or too small, way too small. Let's try to figure out what hook size this is. What do you guys think, a number 3 millimeter? Let me get a number 3. Here is a 3 millimeter, modern 3 millimeter. Now the tip is a little loose still at the point where the hook naturally gets really fat. So let's try, let's try another one. Let's see here, what do we have here? Here's a 3.25 millimeter. And that just goes all the way through. Here is a 3.75 millimeter. It won't go in. I don't think. Let me look. What do I have? Here's a 3.5. 3.5 won't work either. So, what is this? This is the 3.25 and a 3. A 3.25 and a 3 would work for this pattern. So now I have to find another thread. Oh boy. That's okay. This is the process of elimination. Actually, fun fact, this is what I do. Not to these lengths. Usually I can get it figured out somewhat quickly. But this is basically what I do whenever I try to figure out a lot of our Victorian era patterns, like the pelerines and the hats and things of that nature. And so I'm really glad I picked this little guy up. Really, really glad. Because I was reading in a pattern. I was reading in a pattern from 1850 something, and it was a Tunisian crochet pattern. And it said to use the knitting bell gauge such and such in a tricot hook. And I'm like, oh, they were using knitting needle sizes for their Tunisian crochet hooks. Oh, okay. So I got to start all over again. This is how big it was becoming. I had made it. I was just about to finish the second row with no increasing. So I'll be right back. So what I have here is a true sport weight in acrylic. And then I have what they call a sport weight, but it's a thinner, lighter sport weight. And it's also acrylic, but it's like a mercerized, not mercerized, but it's like a silkened acrylic, like a microfiber. No, I think this is bamboo cotton. So which do I do now? Gee golly, I'm gonna have to just test it. I'll be back. I think I'm gonna settle with this this light sport weight. It seems really nice. I think it's gonna work up nicely, and I think this one here might wind up being too big. I don't know. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm done chasing it. I'm gonna make this thing, whatever it is, dadgummit. So I'm gonna start over again, as you can see, and I'm gonna work my way up to round 11. I'm gonna complete round 11 with our first shell round, and that's it. I'm settling, dang it. That's it. Okay, by golly. It's the next day. I literally worked on this until 6 a.m. and I had to go to sleep. It's the next day. It is 5 in the afternoon now. I've been up for a little while, but it's 5 in the afternoon and I think I got it. Okay, second row, work 10 double crochet in the center of every shell and 1 short stitch. I think that is a half double crochet. So, and 1 short stitch over the 5 skipped stitches. This forms a plain scallop. Okay, then it goes on to what to do after that. Wait a minute. Crochet a row of chain stitches over the scallops. Okay, let's do the scallops first before we move on. It's funny how they put all of that in row 2. This really should be, where is it? This should be row 3 here. Yeah, so, okay. I think we're gonna have to work our way over. We're already in our chain 3. So let's slip stitch into the next, double crochet over, and the next, and then into that space between the next 2 stitches, right there. All right, 1, 2, 3 for my first double, and then 10. Oh boy. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh man, this is going to be really packed. 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay. Now we work a short stitch, which I think is a half double crochet. Right here, it says over the 5 skip stitches, but I think it's this space over the 5 skip stitches. Just like that. Then yarn over, and right between 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that space right between those 6 double crochet. We're going to treat that like a chain 1 space and start working our 10 double crochet again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Yarn over, and then in this space here we work, I believe, is a half double crochet. Then yarn over, and 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, that space between them. Start working those 10 double crochet again. So I'm going to work this all the way around, and I'm going to join with a slip stitch at the top of this starting chain 3 here. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, finished working that all around. Now we can move on. It says here, crochet a row of chain stitches over the scallops by making 4 chain stitches and 1 short in the center of each scallop. Okay. So in the center of each scallop, I wonder if I need to slip stitch my way over again. Maybe so. I think maybe so. So I'm already in the chain 3, so the next double crochet over. And I will work my way over. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And I will start with a chain 1 and a short stitch, so a half double crochet, and then chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4 into the 5th stitch over, work my half double crochet. The bamboo cotton splits a little bit, a lot of it, but bamboo cotton always does that. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Don't split. Thank you. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I'm going to work this all around, and I will be right back. I think this is going to start to shape us. Yeah, because it's like pulling it in now. When do we, because I remember reading at some point, okay, crochet 1 plain row. This finishes the crown. I think 1 plain row is going to be one round of single crochet. This completes the crown of the hood. So we are now just about to complete the crown of the hood. Okay. So what I'm going to do is work these chain stitches all around, come back and start the row of single crochet with you, and then we will move on to the rest. Okay. So my mistake, I don't know why I was working into the 5th stitch. That's not correct. We should be working into the space between the 5th and 6th stitch. It doesn't say that, but I was counting it. I'm like, wait a minute. I have 5 on this side and 4 on that side. Oh, duh, math. There's that whole, little thing called math. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then in between, right here, is where we should be working those half double crochets. Just like that. Now I have Now I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Did I skip one? I think I skipped over one too many. Yeah, I probably did. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Did I not put 10 stitches here? Maybe I didn't. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Well, I suppose this one isn't going to be very helpful as I only have 9. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to go ahead and work my first half double actually into the top of this stitch because I goofed up and only put 9 double crochet on this shell. So let's see over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so between these two groups of 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, this is where I'm going to work my next half double crochet. Kind of wish they would have told us to put chain ones there just to make it a little more easier on us, but that's okay. So yeah, oh my goodness, I'm full of it with this pattern today, guys. I'm full of it today. 1, 2, 3, 4. My goodness gracious, you'd think this was my first day. There. Now it looks more centered. Before it was looking a little off to the side, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Oh yeah, math. Okay, I'm going to finish working this all around, and I will be right back. Okay, just worked my last chain 4. Here's where we started. So I'm just going to go ahead and slip stitch into that starting half double crochet right there. Now it says to work a row of 1 plain row all around. So I'm going to chain 1 and work a single crochet, and I'm going to work 1 single crochet into each chain stitch, and I'm going to actually work in the chain stitches and into the top of each half double. So here we go. Two, 3, 4 into the top of the half double. And then again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. All right, so I'm going to work this all around, and I will be right back again. Just finish this last section here with you. Then into the top of the half double. Okay, that is how we are looking now. I'll be right back. Okay, worked all around, joined with a slip stitch to my starting single crochet. All right, On this row, crochet 2 more plain rows. We just did that, right? Crochet 1 plain row. This finishes the crown. Okay, on this row, crochet 2 more plain rows, leaving 25 stitches open to form the neck of the hood. On these 3 plain crochet, the way they word things, on these 3 plain rows, comma, crochet, you know what? Just a moment. I know, the arrogance of it all. On this row, comma, crochet 2 more plain rows, leaving 25 stitches open to form the neck of the hood. On these 3 plain rows, crochet 2 rows of shells as before, then 3 plain rows and 2 more rows of shells. So let's do 2 more rows, 2 more, and you'll note they are saying rows and round in this, and we are obviously working in the, actually, that's a big fat lie. Now we are working in the row. Oh, but they were saying row over here as well. Row. So this was a little debate that we had in the past. These old patterns, they do what I do and confuse row and round quite frequently. But genuinely and truly, now we are working in the rows. So this is going to be, on this row, crochet 2 more plain rows, leaving 25 stitches open. So now we are genuinely working in the rows. So let's do this. Grab a stitch marker, and here is my first stitch right here. So this is my last. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Some like little black fleck or something on my, there. There we go. So this will be my last stitch, as this is stitch 1 of these 25 here. Okay, so let's work 2 rows of single crochet. Chain 1, single crochet, and the question is, do we work in back loop? Yeah, because it gives that definition, you know, gives that stitch definition. So I think I will definitely, yeah, chain 1. I don't know why I did my chain 1, but I'm going to work in the back loop only of these rows. Oh, but what do we do whenever we come back around? We'll work front loop only. Keep it consistent. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe the next one around I'll work both loops and it won't matter, because there's a little bit of definition happening here now. So 2 rows of single crochet. I'll come back whenever we start our second just to see what we come up with for the second row, to try to keep this stitch definition. And I'm splitting yarns. Look at this. All right, I'll be back. Okay, worked my way over to my stitch marker. Now I'm going to go ahead and chain 1, and let's just start with front loop only. I might settle with front loop only just to keep that stitch definition on the front. Let's flip it around here after a few stitches and have a gander at it. I think I'm going to prefer this. Yeah, that looks really nice, doesn't it? Okay, so I'm going to work front loop only, going back the other way. I really like the stitch definition, and I keep saying stitch definition. I like the ridges. How about that? I like them old ridges there. So let's just keep working like this, or any way that you choose. You can work in both loops all the way around, but I will say this much. In the Victorian era, a single crochet was always worked in back loop only or front loop only. Some patterns do call for front loop only. But but traditionally it was always worked in back loop only unless they specifically stated picking up both threads or picking up both loops or the full top of the stitch. So I will be right back. Okay, got my 2 rows done. I'm very pleased with the way that looks. I like that a lot. Okay, let's see what's next. Okay, now on these 3 plain rows, crochet 2 rows of shells as before. Then 3 plain rows again, and 2 more rows of shells. Now when they say 2 rows of shells as before, exactly like this, or do they consider this like one set of shells? So I need to make 2 of these maybe? I don't know. 2 rows of shells as before. I wish there was inches, you know. That would be huge for them to give us inches. 2 rows of shells as before. My thing is, to form the shells, first row, okay. Second row, okay. I think that really, truly clears it up. So work 2 rows of shells as before. I still kind of wonder if 2 rows of shells as before. So is it 1 and then another one? I think I'm thinking too hard. I think I'm thinking too hard. All right, here we go. Before we started off by slip stitching our way over, didn't we? Where is the start of this thing? Don't think we started there. I don't know. Where did we start? I don't remember exactly how I started. I did. I think I did. I'm thinking too much. I'm overthinking this. Overthinking it. I'm just going to go ahead and turn and put my first row of shells right here. 1, 2, 3. And then into that same stitch, I'm going to work through both loops. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I'm going to work this all the way over to the stitch marker, and then I'll be right back. Okay, coming up to the end here, and I only have 4 stitches left, so I'm going to go ahead and just skip 3, and in the last stitch, I will work my last shell here, and I think it'll be fine. I don't even think it would be noticed. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Yeah, you can't really tell. All right, now I'm going to turn. I'm not going to chain 1. I'm going to slip stitch my way over. So here we go. 1, 2, and 3. 2, 3. So right here in between. 1, 2, 3. Yes. And then I'm going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and start working my 10 shells. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Half double crochet in between. 1, 2, 3. And then I should have just chained one. I knew what a headache this was before. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, oops, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Question, though, that, wonder if these are supposed to come down like that. Maybe, but question is, on these 3 plain, crochet 2 rows of shells as before, then 3 plain rows, and 2 more rows of shells. Again, crochet 1 row of chain stitches and 1 plain row of single crochet all around the hood, which finishes it to the lace and gives an excellent shape. The lace is crocheted all around the hood. Any pretty crochet lace, so they're not specific as to the lace. Yeah, so I think even though it says, and again, crochet 1 row of chain stitches, I think we do have to crochet the row of chain stitches after we do the 2 rows of shells. Like, they don't say to, but I think it's a given that you have to. I don't know if this is supposed to be hanging down like that, or if this is supposed to be flush right here. What do you guys think? You think this is supposed to be flush? I mean, I already started it off this way. Should I have just... maybe worked a half shell right here? Maybe, actually. So I might have to start that over again. I think this is supposed to be straight down here. Either way, I'm not liking the way it's hanging over. And we're supposed to crochet lace all around it. Well, I can't very well do that if that's kind of jetting out that way. I have unraveled this hat so many times, but by golly, I'm determined to get it right. So I think a half shell is what I will work. So 3 double crochet. Then I'll jump over and work the 6. Three, 4, 5, and 6. I actually think that's going to look better. I do. Okay, that's the choice I'm going. That's the direction I'm going with it. And for all I know, the picture shows the same. You know, we don't know. We don't have a picture. So, I mean, there is a picture, I believe, that exists for this, but it's not right in front of us. So this is the direction I'm going because my mind's eye really wants it to be like this. So that's what I'm doing, and I'll be right back. I'm going to do both rows of shells. I'll be right back. Let's come up with a way to end this row here. I am going to work just a half shell again. So 3 double crochet, 1, 2, and 3. And let's see here, 1, 2, 3. Actually, I'm going to do 4. Let's try 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, when coming back this way, I can slip stitch into the top of that chain 3. That little extra chain won't really make much of a difference, but it'll keep everything straight. Yeah? Half double crochet. 1, 2, 3. And there we go. Okay, I'll be right back. I'm going to work this all the way to the end. Let's end this row together, the row with the 10 double crochet. So I already worked my last half double crochet here. So just like how we started, of course, we started with a straight into a shell, but we're not going to end straight from a shell. So I'm going to chain 1, and in the last stitch, I'll work a double crochet. There we go. And now we do the chain row, right? Oh, this is turning out quite cute. Now we're going to do the chain row. So I think I'm going to start with a half double crochet. One, two, three. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh. Well, this yarn just likes to be Splitty McGee, I'm telling you. I love bamboo cotton, but boy, does it like to split. No matter what brand you get, it's going to split. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wow. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many stitches did I put here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, it's just weird looking, I guess. That's fine. Yeah, it's fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4. Try this again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. Okay. Oh. It's the splitting the yarn definitely slows progress down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's pretty annoying. All right. I will be right back. This ain't right. This one here is not right. I'll figure it out, but you get the idea. We're chaining 4, and we are working a half double crochet into the top. I mean, this whole stitch is just weird looking. I don't know. I'll figure it out. I'll be back. Just coming to the end of this chain row, and I went ahead and worked my last half double, and I chained 4. Now I'm going to work a half double into the top of our, no, into the 3rd chain up of our turning chain here. Work 1 half double crochet there, and that keeps it pretty even. Now we work 3 rows of single crochet, right? It was 3, right? Yeah, 3 rows. I'm struggling with this yarn just a little bit. So it looks like we're starting on the inside. I would like to repeat these little this ribbing here. So I'm going to do just the first row, just whatever, just normal. Like it's going to go into the top of that half double there. And then I'm going to start working all of my single crochet across. When I come back, I will work back loop only. When I come forward, I will work front loop only. So I'm going to do all of this off camera. Work the 3 rows, and then work the 2 more rows of shells Let's see here. It says here on these 3, work 2 rows of shells, then 3 plain rows, and then 2 more rows of shells. And then again, 1 more row of chain and 1 plain row. So I'm going to work all of that off camera because we have a pretty good grasp of what all of that looks like now. So I'll be back whenever I have completed the 3 rows of single crochet, the 2 more rows of shells, and then the 1 more row of chain and 1 more row of single crochet. So I will come back at the end of all of that. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, that is looking nice. It looks cute. I even actually like the fact that these are the backs of the stitches because it just adds a little bit more something, doesn't it? Okay, I'll be back. Okay, this is everything I worked up to this point here. Single crochet. Oh, wait, no. 1 plain row of single crochet all around the hood. Never mind, I'm not done yet. I have to work all around the hood. I only worked the very front edge. Okay, I'm glad I didn't cut yet. But here is, look at this. If you wear it like this, it's like a little baby wig. But anyways, here is, I think this is a baby bonnet. I do think this, I'm more convinced now than ever that this is a baby bonnet. Unfortunately, it says lace is crocheted all around the hood, any pretty crochet lace. So it's leaving that up to us. I prefer to follow instructions, but I also don't mind coming up with my own. I guess I'm not done yet. I need to work a single crochet stitch all the way around. So, okay. See here, I'm going to chain 1. Go back into that same stitch, and here I go. All right, so I guess I'll be back. My fault not paying close enough attention. This yarn, this splitting yarn is just a little bit of an issue for me. It did slow down my progress quite a bit in a lot of places. All right, I'll be back. Okay, I finished working my round of single crochet all the way around, and I'm not exactly sure what kind of lace they were talking about. I mean, they weren't talking about any lace, were they? But I think at this point I'm ready to go see if there's a picture and see if I can see what they made. At least see if I got the majority of this right and see what they put on the edge. Yeah, okay, so I'll be right back. Here it is. Number 2. Number 2. I feel like this isn't the same hat they described. Look at the detail here. It's almost as if there is some lattice work behind a diamond formation of like some kind of puff stitches. You see? While the rest of this seems to kind of line up, this portion right here does not. Because this is what we have, or what I have. And you see, doesn't really. I like it, but I don't know that it is accurate. But I followed the pattern just as it said. And then looking at the lace they have, well, first of all, I don't know that this is the right picture to the bonnet that we're making. I just don't know. Let's see what this one here is called. Maybe there's a number. Okay. Oh no. No, no, no. No. Oh boy. That is on there. Okay, I think it's Crochet Child's Silk Hood. Yeah, CHI. So I think this is Crochet Child's Silk Hood. I don't know that this is the hood that goes to this pattern. I don't know that these two go. It doesn't quite seem like they do. Our pattern had us end with 1 row of single crochet, and then it said here, okay, finish. Again, crochet 1 row of chain stitches and 1 plain row of single crochet all around the hood, which finishes it to the lace and gives it an excellent shape. The lace is crocheted all around the hood, any pretty crocheted lace. We ended with 1 row of single crochet. This looks like it ends with 3 rows of single crochet and then gets into some kind of lace here. I'm not exactly sure. I don't think that this picture goes with this particular bonnet. It just doesn't seem like it does it? It looks like we're working with totally different stitches too. So I feel kind of sad because I couldn't give you a picture that goes. Let me look through the book really quick. Hang on a minute. I'll be right back. Let me go through this book. No, this is literally the only picture of a baby bonnet in that book in the crocheted section, and it's also the only pattern for a baby bonnet. So there's 1 pattern and 1 picture. I just still don't think that this is the right bonnet for the pattern described. I really, truly don't. Not compared to, I mean, I think you guys, I think it's fair enough to say that I did copy the pattern. I followed the pattern, I think pretty good, I think. Well, I still think it's a very lovely bonnet. I'm still very happy with it. I wish I had something to put in it. Hang on. Let's see if I can put it on this huge skein here to kind of model it somehow. I still think it is a very, very pretty bonnet. Like, just don't look at that part. Yeah, I do. I really do. Put some little ties right here to tie it under the chin. Very cute. Yes, I'm quite pleased with it. I just don't think that we worked the same bonnet that the picture shows. There's no way. Look at these diamonds, you know? And there's clearly supposed to be some instruction for this portion right here. So I think the people who put this book together blended UK and US stitch terms at willy-nilly. And I also think they just threw in whatever picture that they had handy and called it a day. In my humble opinion, I don't think it's a very well-constructed book. But yes, this is our bonnet. We did follow the pattern as it was written. It wasn't that complicated of a pattern other than trying to figure out the correct materials. That was my only true complication with this whole pattern. Other than that, I mean, it was a pretty straightforward pattern, and this is quite lovely. This is not the picture to the pattern we worked. I really feel confident in saying that. But that being said, I believe that this pattern, the pattern itself that we followed here, was a success. This is a beautiful little bonnet. You will have success making this if you use a sport weight and a 3.25 millimeter hook. Okay, guys, so I will see you in the next mystery. I had a lot of fun with this one. I love a good challenge. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.